You're like a lot of Americans. Retiring is the American dream. People want to escape the grind. They want to be done with the 9 to 5 and they want to enjoy their life on their terms, not having to get up early, not having to get ready and run to work. Now, if leaving the workforce really entices you, or if you join the FIRE movement, which I believe is pretty well dead at this point, this video is for you. We're going to be talking about figuring out how you can retire, if you can retire, and mathematically, does it make sense to retire? Now, for a lot of people, there are a couple things you have to think about retirement before you're really taking that. It's not going to be running around the world, going on all these lavish trips, unless you've really set and unless you've really prepped for retirement. Now, of course, I rely on Dave Ramsey and the baby steps for this. When it comes to the baby steps, you have to be debt free. If you really want a financially sound, if you really want a solid retirement plan, debt free is the way to go. Even with the supplement of Social Security, if you have a 401k, if you have a pension, if you're going into retirement with debt, it is going to be detrimental. I have seen an incredible amount of individuals that go from a full-time 9 to 5 into the retirement and they are carrying credit card debt, they have auto loan debt, they have mortgage debt. All of a sudden, when they're changing out their cash flow, they have absolutely no money. Now, personally for me, I have 6 years till I'm 50. We're on track in trying to retire a little bit early. I don't want to get to the 62, 65, 67 years and then be eyeing retirement. I want to retire long before that. Starting with 50 years old would be ideal if it works mathematically. Now, what do I mean by retired? This can be really different for a lot of individuals. Maybe it's not working that same 9 to 5. Maybe it's doing a hobby or something that you've always loved to do. The foundations to retire have to be there, like I said, with early retirement, because if you're retiring before that 59 and a half, you cannot rely on those 401k balances, which means that if you're taking money out of that 401k under 59 and a half, those retirement funds are not only going to be taxed if it is traditional products, but it is also going to include a 10% penalty. This can absolutely derail all of your retirement plans if you're taking money out of there early. So then the question becomes, can I retire early? There are really 3 options that you do need to look at. Option number 1, going semi-retired. Now this, of course, is the age 50. That is the age 55. This is really working a job that you love, whether it's working part-time, whether it's doing YouTube video content creation, whether it's education, pursuing a passionate, maybe a nonprofit, can be really a basic step into semi-retired life. This might mean that you're earning enough to really cover your regular living expenses without having to rely on that income that is going to come in the future from Social Security, but also not reliant on the retirement funds because you're at the point of life. And again, not having any debt can really help you achieve this. Now, when you look at your monthly liabilities and maybe you're at $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, even if you can supplement a majority of that income with a part-time income, so kind of being semi-retired, maybe again working 20, 30 hours a week, you can supplement that income with what your expenses are, meaning that you can kind of cover everything, having some of a savings account, so you never have to touch those retirement accounts. Now, option number 2, retiring fully at age 60. This is when you're retiring and you're hanging up your hat in the entirety. This doesn't mean a part-time job. This doesn't mean really going back to work fundamentally, but this could also be pursuing your dreams. If you've always wanted to travel, this could be the time when you do. Now, a lot of people, when they first get into retirement, they spend a lot more money because, of course, when you're going into this option, retiring fully at 60, not only do you have retirement, but you also have retirement time. When you think of a lot of individuals that are working again 40, 50, 60 hours a week, now you have all of that time back. Your 9 to 5 is now has to be taken up by really something else that is going to be a hobby, that is going to be something you love to do. And again, I really stress this when it comes to retirement. You have to have a game plan, not only a financial game plan, but you have to have a game plan of exactly what you're going to do and what you're going to plan to do in retirement. What happens is a lot of people go into retirement, they get incredibly bored because they have so much time on their hands. They again go back to a part-time job or they find something to really buy their time. Or unfortunately for a lot of people, they don't do anything. It's literally sitting on the computer, sitting watching television. There isn't really much life outside of the house than when you're retired. And the final option is building a bridge account. This is what I'm kind of thinking. Are you looking to retire sooner again than that 59 and a half? This is where the bridge account would come in. Saving enough money in retirement accounts will be good, but also bridging until you get to the point of being able to use those retirement accounts. So, what we mean by this is accessing some of the retirement funds, or really just going to brokerage accounts that you can do a withdrawal out of, having money in a savings account, and breaking it down again mathematically. If you're saying your monthly expenses are roughly $2,000, let's say in a savings account you might have 50 or $100,000. How many months and how many years is that balance going to take you to bridge you into retirement? When you get to the point of being able to access all of those retirement accounts, hopefully they have grown. You've had that compounding interest. You've been making contributions for them. And again, thinking of retiring at 50, you have had roughly 30 years to build up that account. If you've done it properly, if you've made those regular contributions, it could be incredibly easy bridging the gap between those retirement years until you do hit that 59 and a half. So how exactly do you do this? This is where I really plan, again, planning on retiring at 50, maximizing tax advantage accounts. This is huge. So when I think of tax advantage accounts, when you look at your 401ks, when you look at your IRAs, but when you look at your HSAs, when you look at some of the things, again, HSA accounts are the health savings accounts that are going to cover you during retirement for any of your medical expenses. So the plan is getting that HSA balance over the next 6 years up, probably $7,000 a year. We've been maxing out the contributions, but building out a $20, $30, $40,000 nest egg that when you start getting into those retirement years, you're going to have a nest egg that is not only growing in that HSA account when you can't make those contributions, but also when you're taking money out of there, you're going to have the ability to cover medical expenses. And that money is not going to come out of those retirement funds that you're really using it. Second part, paying off your mortgage. This is it. When it comes to slashing your monthly expenses, boosting that retirement savings account to build that bridge account, you can do it by really boosting up and getting rid of debt. Again, when you look at Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, getting to the point where the house is free and clear is really a green light if you're looking to retire, because you have all of your debt paid off. You've been contributing your 15%. You've also saved quite a bit for the kids' college fund at this point. The mortgage is completely paid off at this point, and now it is just to live and give, as he says. Visualizing your retirement, stay motivated, stay focused on your financial goals. Majority of individuals I see don't have financial goals and do not have them written down, do not have them notated when it says a year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it may be. Most people don't know where they're going. Not only do they not know where their money is going, kind of every dollar, every purpose, it has a place to go, but they also don't know what they want to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years when it comes to finances. And the final one, working with someone that it can really develop a personalized retirement plan. Now, we have a lot of people like this at financial institutions that will go ahead and build you kind of a financial plan. How long do you have money in there? What is the balances of your retirement accounts? How many years is this going to carry you? So when we looked at the averages with retirement, people that were of retirement age, meaning that 55, 65, and 65 plus, they had about 140K in there. Now, if you're looking at early retirement like me, you're talking $500,000, probably $1 million over that you're going to have available or invested. Because again, I kind of think of it as this way, and I know Dave Ramsey goes back to not taking the goose, is if I can get $1 million in a retirement plan, if we're seeing just a 5% return, we can take 50 grand off that every single year, which of course is going to be a good supplement to income. With the 50,000 that we're taking out, we are not touching the $1 million original balance. And with the 50,000 that we're taking out, we can go over year over year over year. And just that is going to be the income that we're going to live on during our retirement. So ultimately, is early retirement worth it? It seems for a lot of people like it is the ultimate dream, but a lot of people, again, get into retirement and they're not happy because, again, you're eliminating a whole entire social network. You're giving yourself back a lot of time. And a lot of people really don't understand what that means emotionally and mentally to have that much. But you have to make sure you run the numbers, you know exactly where you're at, if it's going to work. So in the end, it is really your individual circumstances, the goals, priorities, exactly what you want to do in your life that you have to examine. If you're looking to retire early, what is the plan? For me, I love doing the YouTube videos. If you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. We're growing a couple channels. We're building there, even if it is a semi-retired where we're still doing this to supplement the income when we don't have any debt. It's going to make a really big difference going into retirement and still being able to stay and build those retirement accounts. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.